Okay guys, so we've got our little box built, we've got the cables plugged in, you see the LAN cable there, the USB cable on the side, and we've got the power. And if you've done everything right and your router's dispensed an IP properly, you'll get this cute little screen. Log into your RaspiBlitz with SSH at admin at the IP, password is RaspiBlitz, and basically from all the setup from here on is going to be done with an SSH client. So you need to get yourself an SSH client. If you're on Windows, it might be something like Putty or Kitty or MobaXterm or WinSCP. If you're on Linux or Mac OS, it'll be just terminal, right? So the next step is going to be getting yourself a proper SSH client, getting everything ready, and we'll proceed with the setup. Right, one thing I'll mention real quick, notice how it doesn't sit down nicely. I was like, oh no, there's a design flaw or something like that because of the power cable there. But don't worry about that. That's we're gonna flip the LCD, so it's gonna be upside down, and you know, it'll look more like this, right? So that'll be the finished product. So just don't panic about that. I just thought I'd let you know. So we'll take care of that during the setup procedure. So one quick caveat before I go any further with this video. When I put up part 1 of this video, Rootsol, the lead maintainer of the RaspiBlitz project, kind of came forward and said that they weren't recommending to use the shim fan as of version 1.5 of RaspiBlitz, which should be out any day now, or probably by the time you see this video. So, and I actually posted a response and I asked them, is this the kind of passive cooling that they're looking at doing? Here's what it looks like. So obviously this will be much better than using a fan because it'll be completely silent and no moving parts and all that. So this is great news that they're going to be moving to a passive cooling. The bad news is that the lightning shell will have to be slightly redesigned to accommodate this. I think like this layer will need to be adjusted just slightly. So I actually spoke to the guys at CryptoCloaks and they did confirm in that thread that they will be working on this. Yeah, they did mention it here. So that's great news. There'll be a new version of the case probably by the time you see this video. You can probably just ignore all the shimfan recommendations in the entire video series. Most of it was a pain in the ass anyway, so that's wonderful. And the new device will run completely silent, like 100% zero ambient noise silence. Awesome. And I will update all the articles to kind of mention this as well. Hopefully you don't miss it. Okay, now that we've gotten through that quick update, let's get to the dirty work. Let's start putting the software on the RaspiBlitz next. Guys, I've got this freakishly large font here just so you can see what's going on. We're going to SSH into that address we got earlier. Now, if you're using Putty, it's going to look a little different, but it's the same thing, right? Putty or whatever you're using for Windows, WinSCP or one of the others. But if you're on OS X or Mac OS or Linux, it'll look like this. So the first time you do an SSH connection, it's just going to verify that you want to add this fingerprint. Are you sure? Yes. Put in the password, which was RaspiBlitz. Okay. It's going to do the hardware test report. 60 seconds. Okay. We will fast forward through this. Okay, we are back. Hardware looks good. That's great news. Let's go. Okay, so you get your choice. Bitcoin Lightning Network node with Lightning experimental migration. Okay, we're just going to do a new one here. Double checking for Bitcoin D. I could probably hit OK here, but whatever. So Bitcoin D is not running, of course. Please enter the nickname for your new RaspiBlitz. One word, keep characters basic, so not too long. Let's go with delete node. Looks good to me. Okay. Now there's 4 different passwords you need to set. Passwords A, B, C, and D. So choose your 4 passwords. Let's go. This is going to be the SSH password, password A. So choose a secure password. No special characters, keep in mind. Okay. Alright, so that's your SSH password is set up. So that's for all users, PyAdmin, root, and Bitcoin. Okay. Make sure you're keeping track of these passwords somewhere, guys. That's obviously super important. Password, RPC password B. Choose a different password. No special characters. Okay, RPC password's changed. Now we're going to do setup. Okay, now this is you need to make this decision yourself, whether you want to have a public IP. If you're running this at home, it might be a concern, or if you want to tunnel through Tor. So you can better protect your privacy with running your Lightning Network as a Tor hidden service, but it can make it harder to connect with other non-Tor nodes, so people who aren't running Tor and remote mobile apps later on. So you can make that decision. For now, I'm just going to go with public. Okay, so it's going to format the drive. Let's do that. So it found the drive, the SSD. If it didn't find the SSD here or it wasn't plugged in, there'd be a problem. We're good. Unmounting all data drives, wiping. I mean, that's really the beauty of the RaspiBlitz setup, is that it's just going to do all of this for you. I mean, it used to be a pain in the ass to do this all by hand with config scripts to get everything set up. So it's just going to handle all that for us. And format this drive. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Here we go. There we go. That was fast. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Now is the part where we got to sync the blockchain. This is what takes the time. Basically what it does is it'll torrent a big portion of the blockchain, like 96%, and then it'll get the last 4%. So I've got a, let's see, you can either copy it from, okay. Let's grab the torrent. Oh, this is just beautiful, this setup. Just idiot proof, really. You gotta hand it to these guys. They put a lot of work into this. Okay, we're connecting to torrent. You can see with this first number, as long as this number goes up, then you're downloading the torrent, and you can see the torrent is broken into two parts. There's a 233 gig main part called the blockchain, and then there's the update, which is 88 gigabytes. So 233 plus 88, roughly 322 gigabytes we're gonna need to download for this to be done. At this point, you can leave it. Like, I mean, for me with a 100 megabit connection, it took nearly 24 hours, something like that, 20 hours overnight. So you can leave it. Don't worry about if you get disconnected from SSH, because you can just log in again and it'll continue from where you left off. Everything's kosher and fine that way. So just leave this overnight and we'll come back and continue the setup. Okay, so I'm back with a really big font so you can see what's going on the screen. I've already downloaded the blockchain, but maybe it has to download a bit more. I just kind of wanted to show you that you can log into SSH and resume. So put in our password here. All right, let's continue on. All right, so let's set up a brand new Lightning node. Default setting. Set your password C for the LND wallet unlock. Okay, so this is going to be for your actual wallet on the Lightning Network node. So choose a secure password. No special characters again. Alright, it's generating the new wallet. Okay, so I mean, I'm going to have to either block this out or just blow this node away, but this is super important. This is your seed phrase for this wallet, 24-word seed phrase. You're going to have to either write this down or take a screenshot, or at least take a photograph of it with your phone, but I would write all these words down in a very safe spot. because you are going to have a little bit of coin on your Lightning Network node. So let's do that. Are you sure that you wrote it down? Let's have another look. Write it down. Now because you're in SSH, you can of course copy and paste it. So I mean, just for the sake of argument, make sure that you've got these words. Okay, are you sure that you wrote it down? Yes. It's generating the wallet. Okay, it's creating the swap file. Putting on more system files. Now we're doing a system update. Looked like it had already put the files on, like the whole system. System's now up to date. Wow, RaspiBlitz setup is done. That's it. After reboot, RaspiBlitz needs to be unlocked and sync with the network. Okay, press OK for a final reboot. So smooth. Yeah, Bitcoin Core was loaded. So Bitcoin D is the heart of the Bitcoin network, right? All these nodes running Bitcoin D, that's the protocol. One of the key components of Bitcoin Core software. Okay. There we go. Setup is done. Rebooting now. Let me look at the machine here. Waiting for reboot. It says on the unit right now. At this point I had to manually reboot with the switch, which I did, and then you'll get this message on the unit that says that the LND wallet is locked. You'll have to unlock it through SSH, so do that. Okay, so to resume the setup, let's just SSH back in. Put in your password. Okay. Checking for Bitcoin D. Okay, so let's unlock the LND wallet. So this is going to be password C. Put that in. Okay, successful. Starting up the wallet. Says that, okay, here we go. Okay, so now the node is syncing. Finally we're getting somewhere. So this can take some time again. It looks like we're 99.99% though. Here we go. Oh, never mind. Let's see. Yeah, we're there. Let me just look at the unit. All right. The unit is finally showing that it's up. Oh my goodness. This is a good feeling. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, so once you've rebooted, it'll show you that it's syncing the node, which didn't take that long. And you can see in the background, I'm already SSH'd in, had to re-log in, of course. And I get this familiar looking RaspiBlitz menu. Okay, sorry to cut away, guys. I didn't want to reveal my public IP, so what I've done is I've just SSH'd back into the RaspiBlitz. And if you check out this info, this very first choice here, info, it's going to show me exactly what you see on the LCD display on the RaspiBlitz. The nice little display. It's so cute. Here we go. Okay, so I've just blocked out my IP, but you can see that we are running RaspiBlitz version 1.4 on my RaspiBlitz is called Elite Node. It's a Bitcoin full node plus Lightning network. Shows you the CPU load. It's kind of high, but maybe it's just settling down. It shows the temperature, 62 degrees Celsius. I think that's within range. I can hear the fan on, that's for sure. It shows free memory. The IP, of course, and very important, it shows which version of Bitcoin Core we're running. Version 0.19.0.1. Mainnet sync is okay, 100%. And check this out. I've blocked out my public IP right here, but it does show that we've got 10 connections currently active. Shows I'm running LND wallet version 0.9.0, and I've got 3 peers there. A fee report. Oh, neat. So that must be where you're earning fees. All right. So basically, the Lightning node network is set up. You've got all these options to play around with, but I think that we'll do that in another video. But before I sign off on this video, I am going to show you, because I noticed in the menu here, under services, here it is, LCD rotate. Okay, we're gonna get the screen rotated so that I promised that I would go over that so that it works properly with this wonderful case. So let's do that next. Okay, so to get this working properly, first we have to install the touchscreen. Just found out. So hit a space bar in there, then hit OK. Turn on touchscreen, making sure the dependencies are installed. Okay, touchscreen was activated. Looks like it needs to reboot. After reboot, use the screen option in main menu to calibrate the touchscreen. Okay, sweet. System rebooting. Yeah, at this point, just go ahead and reboot the RaspiBlitz. It always takes a few minutes to get that all synced up. And you'll notice that when the RaspiBlitz boots up, you'll get these 4 little menu choices on the left side of the screen. I don't know if I'm missing something or what, but I wasn't able to rotate the screen with the screen option in the menu here. So I'll just show you how to do it with editing the actual config file, which is all this is really doing anyway. So drop to the console and type in sudo nano. The name of the file is boot config.txt. Oops. There we go. You're going to get this file. Now Control V down 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 3 times. Just go to the very end of the file basically. And you're going to see this option. And this was 90. So I just changed it to 270. And then Control X to get out of this file. Do you want to save it? Yes. Y. Enter. Okay, so yeah, at this point you can just reboot it, and when I did that, the screen was flipped over as it should be. Oh right, so another quick loose end to tie up. I noticed that the RaspiBlitz box was making a bit of noise because the fan was always on, because there's no software that to tell it to otherwise. But there is a heat sensors on the fan, so I knew they could be configured. So if you go to the RaspiBlitz page, it links off to this Pimarini page, and they actually show you how to install the fan shim software. And I did play around with it, so let me just show you, take you through how to do it. Git is already installed and ready to go on the box, so jump into your RaspiBlitz SSH connection, dump to a terminal. You should be in the Raspberry Pi folder. Let's go ahead and throw that git clone command. This is going to install the fanshim Python library. Let's do that. cd into fanshim. And I believe it's set up. Let's just make sure. Oh, it's install. You want to run install as sudo. Okay, that's going. Right, and then you want to go into the examples folder, and what was the one that I found that worked is this one, which is basically going to set a threshold of 65 degrees Celsius to turn the fan on, and an off threshold of 55 degrees Celsius with a delay of 2 seconds. And this works pretty good. I mean, I noticed that my Pi with the fan on likes to sit at 50 degrees Celsius, so this will keep it kind of within that. I mean, it's kind of rated to go, you know, 75 degrees Celsius. At 80 degrees Celsius, the Pi 4 will start to throttle performance, so you want to keep it way off that mark. So let's try that. We'll grab this one here. Well, we're still installing this. I'll just zip through this. Okay, let's change directory to the examples folder, and we'll run that command. It's going to install something called psutil. Oh, I love it when something just works. I heard the fan just stop. So it has taken effect already without a reboot or anything. Let me just jump back to that page. Yeah, it says that this will stay running in the background and will even sustain through reboots. And it shows you how to manually disable and enable it. But yeah, so that's it. That's how to set up your fan. Oh, I love that. It's totally silent now, of course, because no fan's running. And it should kick in at 65 degrees. Okay, another loose end to tie up here. I noticed if you type in RaspiBlitz while you're logged into the RaspiBlitz, it'll get you back to the menu. And I noticed that like on the status on the front of the machine, if I click info here, and I'm gonna have to blur out my IP again, but essentially what I'm trying to point out is that this is in red. That's not right. And it shows my IP in yellow, which is partially right. So we're gonna try and fix this. This should be green. Basically what we have to do is forward some ports on our router. So let's do that next. If you go back to the RaspiBlitz page and scroll down to a section called Dynamic DNS, you'll see the 4 TCP ports we need to forward. They're listed here. There's 4 of them. Now everybody's router software is a little bit different, but you want to go to the admin page on your router. You can see I've already added the first 3 ports, but I'll take you through adding the last one just so you get an idea. So the last port is 8080. Let's add a rule. So like I said, like somewhere in your router web administration, you'll see a section for port forwarding. So that's what you want to find. What was this one called again? LND REST API. So LND REST API. Like I said, they're all TCP. Put in the port 8080. Now the IP address it's looking for here is the local IP of your RaspiBlitz. So mine was .0.26. Remote IP any, rule status is on, click apply. Okay, so that should be set up. Save these changes. Okay, looks like my changes have been saved. Now we might have to reboot the RaspiBlitz. Let's take a look. Kind of doubt it's going to be just automatic. But let's have a look. Okay, this is good news. What I've been reading is that if it's in yellow, then you're good to go. Ideally you would want green, but there's some kind of a bug. I found a thread about it, but I think yellow is fine. It shows that we've got 18 connections here, and both of these are now in yellow. I think we're good. There is a way to manually change it to green. Like there is a thread. I'll put it in my article about them discussing this, but I think that we're good. But what you can do is you can use a service. Yeah, you can use a service called canyouseeme.org. I'm just going to check it now. I've checked all the ports that I just put in, and they're all forwarding fine. But yeah, just check canyouseeme.org. If the ports are forwarding fine, then you should be good to go. Okay, last thing I want to do here is get the RTL interface, or Ride the Lightning web UI, set up on the RaspiBlitz. So go back to your RaspiBlitz menu, go down to services, and it's right here, spacebar, okay. Yeah, so Ride the Lightning is going to allow us to set up payment channels, fund our wallet, and do all that sort of stuff without having to SSH in. So we're going to have a cute little web UI to use for that instead. So let's get this installed. Okay, looks like it's installed Ride the Lightning, and it tells you how to access it with this IP here. And then you'll use password B to log in. Looks good. Let's copy that. All right, wonderful. Your node is up and running. Active. All right, we will get into this in a bit more depth in the next video, where we'll actually fund the wallet and set up some payment channels. But for now, let's just get it installed. That's all done. Awesome. Oh, we've done it. Wow, guys, what a journey. I can't believe it. Took a lot longer than I thought to get that all set up, but honestly, smooth as silk. I didn't have a single issue going through that. It just kind of, God, you got to hand it to the guys at RaspiBlitz. They've done a wonderful job with this project. And look at this wonderful little case. Thanks to the guys at CryptoCloaks.com again with their lightning shells. These things are just awesome. And yeah, if this video helped you in any way, please hit me with a like, hit me with a subscribe, drop a comment if you need help. I'll do my best to help you out. And watch for a new video soon that'll get into some of the stuff that I missed, like funding your Lightning Network wallet, setting up some pay channels, setting up BTC Pay. I will get into all that stuff, but I just need some time to kind of digest it. This took a lot longer than I expected. All right, guys, I hope you've learned something. Good luck.